Well, I sure hope that these guys don't get this wrong this morning. It looks like they're trimming some branches off the tree opposite side of the canal to me. Let's see how they get on. Well, I'm glad it's him at the top of that tree and not me. Not sure how this is going to come out. I'm recording it through the window of the boat. Well, this is all a little bit different for you this week. It's all about wood. Well, it's about trees and me making a sawhorse. We're cutting up wood for the fire. So let's get on with it. And here's the end result of those trees. They've been pollarded right back. So here I am today. What are you doing, Trev? You may ask the question. I'm going to make a sawhorse that fits on to the workbench. It's going to be able to clamp in the middle, be the length of the workbench, and make it easier for me to saw up firewood. So let's get on with it. So you may ask, what am I making it out of? One of you that have been watching me for a while will know I've been taking the bunk beds out of the boat. Well, this is bits and pieces left over from taking the bunk beds out of the boat, basically. Pieces of wood I've salvaged. I'll make it the same length as the workbench. I'm just going to mark it off there. I do have the jigsaw and all out, but I'm going to just use a handsaw for now. There's my mark. And that's going to be my base plate for my sawhorse. As always, as one tries to do a project and record it, boat opposite me decides to run his engine to charge his batteries. Sorry about the background noise, not much I can do about it. It's not my engine running. I've decided to make the angle for the V for the Sawhorse 45 degrees. That's what you can see me marking out here. The 45-degree angle, which I'm going to cut and do a half lap joint on. Right.
I'm going to stay there long and start the engine up in a minute.
Well, I should be starting mine off and on, because every time I use power tools, I'm running the inverter with a power tool. Yeah. I always start the engine, because if I'm pulling like 700 or 800 watts through the inverter, that's not going to, my batteries aren't going to last very long. I'm now making the saw cuts for the half lap joints. So I'm cutting halfway down through the pieces of wood at a 45-degree angle, ready to chisel the rest out. And yes, I know I'm using a hammer. You should never use a hammer on a chisel, you should always use a mallet. But I don't have a mallet, so a hammer it has to be. I'm chiseling out the waste wood on that 45-degree angle I cut. To make this Sawhorse easier to take apart for storage purposes, I'm going to cut down a piece of threaded rod here, which I'm going to insert into the ends where the end pieces will go over, and I'm going to connect it using a wing nut, butterfly nut, whichever you want to call it. I'm going to cut it down to length using an angle grinder. There's now time to be doing some assembly and cutting the end pieces down to my required size. I'm going to square them off all in one go. So here goes. Now I'm just squaring off the top of the Sawhorse. I'm going to cut these ends off as well to size. Now I'm going to cut these off at superhuman speed again. Okay, I sped the video up ×4. Now to add the other end on. Let's hope this works. Well, I guess now dry run to test it out. When I actually built this, I wanted the V to actually be level with the workbench. I've actually failed quite miserably doing it. As you notice, I haven't put the wing nuts or anything on there yet. I'm just really seeing if it works. It works, but basically it has been a bit of a failure. Didn't come out exactly as I wanted it to. I'm not quite sure if it's just going to be firewood now or what. We'll see. I might have to do some modifications if I want it to work properly. So here we are anyway. Here's the finished product. I've already broken one piece off. So go on like so. It's a bit damp. So when I bought the washers, now a certain well-known store, they were $7 for 10 penny washers with the 10mm hole in the middle, which I need. These ones were £1 in one of the cheap shops. They didn't have any with a 10mm hole. They only had these with 6mm, I think it is, hole. So a drill soon sorted that out. Goes on like so, and then goes on like so. And I've used penny washers, so pull up tight, wouldn't damage the wood. So tighten that up like so. Penny washer, a butterfly nut, or whatever we want to call them these days. Wing nut, butterfly nut, I don't know. Like so. Tighten it up. What I wanted was this V to be basically level with here. And I can't get that. If I see it there, it's not too bad. I'm going to tighten these up. The problem is when we tighten it up, this piece I really wanted to clamp here and here, so I really need to make it a bit wider to hold it steady, because when you tighten this up and it's on that V, it just moves. So it sort of works. It comes apart, it goes back together again, so it's easy for storage. So there it is. Is it just scrap wood? I don't know. I'll have to think about it and see how I can modify it, perhaps to make it work. So thank you very much for watching. If you're not already subscribed, please subscribe. If you'd like to help towards these little projects I take on, the cooking videos, etc., please consider being either a Patreon, a channel member, or making a PayPal donation. That just leaves me to say thank you very much for watching. Trevor out.